You don't just like fly in on your private jet, show up to the track, put your race suit on, drive your Porsche, fly back home, sip a cocktail, and go home to your wife. This is not this type of racing, boys. RC racing. Cars need maintenance. These are high-performing race cars. Yes, we're messing with toy cars at the end of the day. Let's all be real of ourselves. But these are still very high-performing RC cars. These perform to the highest of their ability. They have ultra good components on here, made of very fine materials, very finicky materials, and they are just miniature duplicates of real race cars out in the world. They still use oil-filled shocks. They use oil-filled differentials. They use metal gears in the differentials, bladders in the shocks, plastic pistons in the shocks, a bunch of nuts that hold the shocks together, glow plugs, everything you can think of go into these vehicles. Even for electric, they all have the same components. You have a center differential, you have a spur gear, you have sway bars, you have adjustment, you have spring tension, you have adjustment on your turnbuckles, adjustable camber, adjustable toe in. You have so many options and choices. It's a little overwhelming, and sometimes you may not know where to begin. So with all that being said, my main goal and purpose of this video is to help you understand what all components you need to look at on a weekend-to-weekend basis on your car after an event, after a practice day, and what steps you should be taking to properly maintain this vehicle to make sure it's at the highest performing level for you in your racing or you're outside enjoying in your yard. That's kind of exactly what I'm looking for here, to help new racers understand about these cars, learn about the new features of them. Because when you get this thing in a box and you get this manual full of all of this stuff, yeah, you can maybe assemble it, and that's awesome. You completed your ginormous adult Ultimate Series Lego set.
You had time to put together the 10,000-piece Lego Hogwarts.
But at the end of the day, you may not know how to properly maintain it. Just like if you weren't taught as a child to know how to change your oil, to take it to a service station, there's no service station for these things. There's nowhere to take them. You can't just run them down to your local hobby stop. Hey man, I would like 22 weight oil in the front shocks, 40.2 in the rear, and I want a 3000 center diff. We don't have that here. We don't even have a hobby store within 2 hours of my house right now, let alone someone that can tune your car for you. If you guys have that, drop a comment down below so we can give resources to everybody else watching this video and help out the community. But I don't know if anyone's ever done that. You buy your car, you build your car. There are some builders out there that I do know build cars, but as far as like maintain them on a regular basis, this is not the Porsche or BMW racing team. You don't just like fly in on your private jet, show up to the track, put your race suit on, drive your Porsche, fly back home, sip a cocktail, and go home to your wife. This is not this type of racing, boys. This is not that at all. But you need to learn how to maintain these, how to care for these cars and make sure they maintain good for you. If you take care of your car, it will take care of you. That's a slogan my dad taught me a long time ago, and it's stuck with me forever. This may be a long one, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. Stick with it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for all content like this. And if you missed out on how to properly clean your RC car, check out the link right here. It's going to help you learn how to clean this car and get it to this state where you can maintain it after a beautiful race weekend of winning a podium. This video is going to be tailored to 8 scale, mainly nitro, but this will work for a 8 scale electric buggy as well. I have my 8X Elite sitting over here. For like a 10th scale buggy like my wife's 22X4, it's really not going to apply to that one because the cleaning process is going to be significantly different in a sense. So I'm going to do a completely separate video on how to clean your 10th scale electric racing vehicle, whether it's a 4-wheel drive buggy, a 2-wheel drive buggy, short course truck, or what have you. I'm going to do a completely separate video for you guys to have that as well. So once you get back from a weekend of racing, you watch my video on how to properly clean your car, and you get your car to a tore down state. I'm talking just basically a roller. So at this time, once you have the vehicle completely torn down, this is a great opportunity to take a look over the whole car. Check all the screws, check all the bearings, check every nut that you have and everything to look over and make sure you don't see anything out of place. Some things will stick out and some things won't. They'll be a little bit hidden. It's a good time to check all of your pins, all of your alignment. Check everything at the front. Make sure you're not leaking any oil from the top of your shocks, the bottom of your shocks. Shock boots aren't broken. Nothing in here is damaged or compromised. You didn't get it like a rock or something caught in here and maybe damage some of the CV joints. And you really want to get up in here and check the steering linkage. You want to make sure there's no debris in here. You cleaned it really well. You greased all the bearings and everything is flowing nice and good. and it has no issues. Coming to the back of the car, we want to make sure we do the exact same thing. Check everything back here. Check the rear hinge pin where the chassis reaches it, sway bar, and all that good stuff. You can see I have an obvious brake, but some brakes may not be too obvious. You could have these screws coming out of this. You could have a dog bone breaking and the little joint right here being wore out. Anything could happen, so just go ahead and take this time while the car is perfectly clean and look over the whole thing. Also, it's the perfect time to go ahead and check the bottom of your chassis. Make sure no screws are coming loose on the bottom of your chassis. Make sure you have no damage to your A-arms and everything is just nice and solid. One quick look over could help make the difference between you making a race and not making one at all. Grab some Cheetos, grab some popcorn, maybe even a little pretzel or two. Enjoy this time and check out how to properly maintain your RC car. I didn't have a lot of runtime on my car, so I didn't get this off right now for this time. Sometimes I'll take it off, completely optional and up to you. Now our next step, once we've assessed the whole vehicle and its situation, what's broken, what's not broken, and what we want to address, while you're racing, while you're on the track, and just in general, you make mental notes. Some people can write them down, some people can keep them in their head, completely up to you. I made a mental note of the front shock oil was really light. I want to go up probably about a couple weights. The back was fine. I want to leave that alone. I also would like a heavier center diff oil to help give the car more plant and traction. I felt like it was kind of lacking in that area. I'm making these mental notes as I'm driving the car, as I'm on the track. So make these mental notes. I know this is kind of hindsight. Now you're watching the video and you're like, oh, I've already raced. I'm ready to drive it. But you can kind of think back. Think back on the track. Did you like the way the car entered a corner? Did you like the way the car exited a corner? Did you hate the way it jumped? Did you not like this aspect about your car? And kind of feel it like that, and it'll help you understand what you need to do. 2 bolts to hold the shock on. Some may use a nut on the top. It completely depends on your setup. If you built your car, you probably know how to assemble it and disassemble it. If you have a low seat, beautiful, this is going to be perfect for you. So like with anything, we're going to identify our 2 points. I have 2 5.5mm nuts on the top and a 2mm screw on the bottom. This will remove my whole shock. Something else I want to also note, you need to maintain your setup. So if you like the setup you have on your car, you need to remember which spot you have. The top shock tower should not really move that much, especially on the low seat cars. They're kind of bolted together. The bottom shock, though, you could put it in the outside or inside position. I had mine on the outside. I kind of liked where this was, so I'm going to make sure I put these back toward the inside. Move the shock. I'm going to pull this off. You may have to wiggle the bottom and grab the shock cup. Also, something I want to note, this is a iFixit board. This is a magnetic board that you can write on, kind of like a whiteboard. It's super good. It has trays up here. You can write on it. It tells you kind of like all your screw identifications if you need that. Super awesome. Caitlin got this for me. I cannot thank her enough for this. I will drop a link down below. Now once all of our shocks are off the vehicle, we're going and ready to do our diffs. The center diff would already be off your vehicle over here, but let's go ahead and disassemble the front end of the car and the rear end of the vehicle. So to make note of this, unfortunately guys, I cannot buy every single 8-scale nitro car on the market. I can technically, but I really don't want to do that, and that would be a ton of work and a long videos just to make this simple. So you guys understand how to take your front diff and your rear diff apart. This is going to be your next step. We're going to go ahead and disassemble the whole front end, get the diff in our hands so we can go ahead and check the gears, service it, change the oil, and put it back in the car. Look at right now with the diffs out of the car. Right now is a good chance to go ahead and check your dog bones, make sure there's no play, make sure the ends are very good, there's no flat spots on them at all. Check your CV joints, check all of those good things. Go ahead and come in here and check this pinion gear. It seems to look really good. Hinge pins, make sure they're nice and good. Everything is kind of free and moving. There's nothing binding up or anything happening there. My steering feels a little tight, so I kind of want to adjust that and make sure that's a lot smoother to operate and it kind of moves freely. No screws are backing out, nothing's broken or on the verge of breaking. We're just going to look it over, tighten all of our bolts, change some setup here and there once the car's back together. But that's all you can need to do with the chassis right now. Let's go ahead and slide this guy to the side and dive into our shocks and diffs. Boys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and if you're a little frisky, hit that notification bell. We're going to dive into part 2, which is going to be completely rebuilding the shocks, completely rebuilding the diffs, and then third is going to be our final assembly and look over. So it's going to be a 3-part video. I don't want to bore you with like an hour-long video. I have a lot of footage to go over and edit. I wanted to get this out and kind of let you know the gist of why we maintain the car, learning about the car further. If you guys are just getting in this, you don't really understand the whole concept of the car. Maybe you bought one used and you don't really know, you didn't even build the whole thing, but you need to maintain the car and learn how to make it work to its best ability for you to ensure you have an awesome time on your race day. Thank you boys for watching. I love you. I will see you next time.